Welcome, SofTappers,
to our second podcast.
This is very exciting. We have more things to talk about.
Always
more things to talk about.
What are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about different eyebrows that you might encounter in your permanent makeup journey.
The wolf in the woods.
Okay, yes. So we see a lot of beautiful eyebrows.
Yes.
Right. But
Beautiful.
Sometimes you see some eyebrows walking through your door and your jaw drops.
Must give us pause.
Yeah. Your eyes pop out of your head, like not in a good way, not in like a wooga way, but in like a oh my
help
God.
me, Mamma Mia kind of way.
It happens,
it
right?
Does, all the time.
I think it happens more often than we talk about, actually.
Sometimes multiple times a day.
Those are the best days.
Right? You're just like, oh.
You're making a real difference those days, right?
Well, yeah, depending on what your circumstances are.
I suppose so.
I'm thinking of one particular circumstance where I had about 10 years experience at the time, and I had this client that had me drawing on her eyebrows for about 4 to 5 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Which is kind of crazy for that level. But when I was done, I had another client that came in because I overbooked back-to-back appointments, and she saw my face and she goes, "You're having an intense day."
Oh my God.
No, everything is good. No problem. Let's take a look at everything. So yes, we all have those days.
We do.
We all do.
But I'm not talking about even like, you know, we have those days when there's like corrections, right? You have somebody walking with like old permanent makeup.
What was happening.
That's a different discussion. I'm talking about like natural eyebrows that walk in your door. And the reason why I say this is because I saw this discussion happen online on social media with an artist who has a lot of experience. I thought that her take on this was very good. So I kind of wanted to talk about the case that she was talking about. And then add a few other difficult cases that I know we've encountered and other people probably have also encountered, or maybe not. Maybe you'd be interested to know what to do. So
I'm scared.
It's not too bad, but it is.
Okay. Let's see.
It does make you think a little bit, okay? So
let's think. Let's put our thinking caps on.
Okay, so this case was a case of a mature lady, and she has like a tuft. Okay, you know a tuft.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with the tuft.
But the tuft has very thick, dark, wiry eyebrow hair.
As is what happens as you get older. You just get a little here, a little
wizard
there.
hairs.
Yeah, the wizard hairs. The wiser you get, the more of them you get.
But really dense, a lot of hair.
In
just
one
this
place.
patch right before the arch.
Right.
Okay, and it's like symmetrical, which, yay? Question mark?
I mean, a symmetrical is always good, but usually when I see something like this, I see that like the front bulb part is missing the lead-in hairs, and the arch and tail is usually missing too. So you have this nice thick patch tuft where it's missing both the front and most of the back.
Yes, exactly.
So the question is, how do you
blend in the permanent makeup? How can you make that tuft blend in with something, especially so dense and so dark, with something that's permanent cosmetics?
Right, especially because when it's natural like that, you also have texture, you have dimension, you have actual
it's like
3D.
popping off your face.
Right, and it's like really, really dark. So if you imagine you take like a light, you know,
it's like a soul patch on your eyebrow.
Yeah.
My
soul
goodness.
Patch, no.
It is.
But so how do you do that?
Right.
So
how do we blend that in? That's what this particular artist was saying, was like, this is how you blend it in. And so I thought we could talk about also how we would blend in something like that as well.
Yeah. So your first thought should be like, okay, combo brow, right? Because there's hairs and there's shading there. So imagine what happens if you take the tuft and you put a combo brow next to it. It's not dark enough.
No, it is not going to be dark enough.
It's not.
No way.
No, you still have like the black forest, and then you have like the path leading into it.
It's just not going to, when it heals, it's just not going to look right still. Right.
No.
So then what? So then you have to do like a super saturated, as dark as you can go eyebrow?
So if you did that, let's say that you did as dark as you could go, solid like black eyebrow, like great.
Still not going to look very good.
No, it's not, because there's no dimension to it. You might be able to get it close to the same color. But the truth is you can never really, really get it that dark. You know why? Because permanent makeup sits under the skin.
In the skin.
It's always going to go under this light kind of translucent layer of skin. So because it doesn't sit on top, it will always be matte. It will always be muted in color. So that's your challenge.
That is your challenge.
How are you going to make it look like it's not muted, like it's popping off the skin?
So you can't, I guess, is like the reality of it. But there are ways to maybe make that transition.
To look good for an everyday look. Yeah. So let's talk about how to do that. So for the tuft, what you could do is could do a very strong combo brow where it has like a medium background, maybe something like espresso. And then you do your hair strokes like nano style, right? Tapping in the hair strokes and very dark.
Yeah, you're going to have to do maybe a few more passes to get more density of color, especially around the tuft, I would say. Like, you got to work with that tuft.
And don't work in the tuft. You're going to have
That's
to.
true.
I know. You can't put anything in the tuft because your customer is going to say, like, they're going to brush their tuft back and be like, oh, she didn't do anything there. You have to explain to them beforehand, no, you cannot make the tuft darker.
No, because it'll just like still stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, it's not good. So that doesn't work so well.
Okay, so leave the tuft.
You could leave the tuft, do a strong combo brow beyond the tuft, and then also create the lead-in hairs that go in the bulb. You should do that too. Now, what's something else that's a little known trick that we could do to really, really make this work a little better? We asked Alexis actually, because we were like, you know what? Like, this is what we would do. And she came up with the most brilliant thing.
She always does. We need to have like a what would Alexis do thing, because I would have never thought of it.
She's done everything. So this is simple. What she would do. What would Alexis do? She would get the tweezers and she would thin out the tuft.
So simple, right?
I was like, are you kidding me? Like the client came to have her eyebrows put on. So why are you taking some off? She was like, because it won't look as good.
It's just as simple as that. And so the client might have a little bit of maintenance to do if they do that. But honestly,
they may need to tweeze their tuft down slightly so that it blends with the rest of the brow.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you could actually put some color behind the tuft to make it match the rest of the eyebrow.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's your answer. That is what.
That's great.
I love that. Lovely? I think that's the best. Okay.
So we have the tuft situation, right? But
there's also situation.
Maybe something quite the opposite of that, which is, how about when you have somebody who has completely no eyebrow hair at all, totally blank slate? They could have maybe alopecia or trichotillomania.
Or maybe they just never had great eyebrows in their whole life to begin with. And those people, you never want to slap on a pair of really dark, like, celebrity style eyebrows, because they'll go home and everyone that knows them will be like, what did you do to yourself? What happened to my girl?
No, I think conservative is always better with those type of cases for sure. So you start with very little. And then you can go bolder over time, just like with everybody else. We say it so many times, it's so much easier to add than to take away.
That's right. Yeah. For those people, I want you to think of the brows as having the two textures. Maybe you have the ideal brow that is your inner piece, right? Inner piece. And then the outside is your vellus hairs.
Yes.
Right? The little fine little hairs that you use to lead into everything. That is what you're going to use to really make it look natural and have it be like a fade in.
Yeah, you're going to have to
instead
really
of a stamp on.
Like a lot of 3D style techniques. So have your primary hairs, if you're doing hair strokes.
Yeah.
Right? Primary hairs, secondary hairs, tapering those hairs. So you don't just have like blunt ends on them.
No, they should maybe be a little pointier on the end. They should all have some curve to them.
Yeah.
Now, the truth is, when you do something like this and you're going to create like a really open air kind of look with the eyebrows, a lot of open space, you should be very careful what pigment you're using.
True.
In my opinion, I would not use anything except the iconic colors.
Yes.
And I don't mean to make that sound like a plug.
No, I know we're biased, but it's for good reason. I know.
Because those will eventually just go away.
Yeah.
And then if the client wants them smaller in the future, you could do that. Or if you want to go bigger in the future, you could do that.
Too.
There won't be a cloud left over.
Yeah, that's very nice. very forgiving.
Yes, because if you do someone's brows in a color that's going to leave a residue of some kind, then when that residue comes, that is going to leave a cloud that you then have to correct in a couple years.
Or make even bigger over time.
And you can only go so big.
Yeah, you can only go so big.
All right. So anyway, plug over. If you don't want to deal with a cloud of something to correct, use the iconic colors.
They're so great.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway.
For design-wise, another thing that I think is really nice when somebody has no eyebrow hair is actually a lot of people use spines when they design a brow.
Yeah.
But if you can do a little bit of shading outward from the spine, you can give a little bit of dimension, right? Like your spine isn't just necessarily for hair strokes.
No.
It could be for some shading, but you want to like have it be a little bit more densely shaded along where just where the spine is.
Yeah. I think you should always do that. I mean, I think this conversation is a little bit more about like textures.
It is.
Things are about texture. So like when I'm looking at your eyebrows, what I see is that there's a strong underline here. The roots are nice and thick. They're strong. But the upper side, it's very light and faded, and it has these sort of like extra hairs on the edges, and they fade down into the dark part. It's a gradual. There is an overall shape, but there's an inner shape.
There is.
There is inner peace.
There is.
We must find it.
Yeah. So I think that helps make a brow go from like a stamped on look to like artistry.
Yes.
Yeah. And for somebody who has no eyebrow hairs, you're really going to have to tap into your artistry.
You will. And my advice to you is if there is any kind of like a flow pattern on the client's forehead at all where you might see where the eyebrows should be, then you must create from that like imaginary flow pattern.
Okay, but then that leads me into my next one. Okay. The next one is if you have a natural flow pattern, okay, but what if it's not a good flow pattern, okay? Like let's say, I know you guys have all seen them before, but like a natural like Ronald McDonald eyebrow.
No.
Yes, like the half moon, the little crescent eyebrows,
because over time they didn't, they probably weren't born like Ronald McDonald. It's just the way that they faded away.
They're very
Are you kidding me? They're
like
not born
30s.
like Ronald McDonald.
Born like Ronald. Hey, some people, all right.
No.
How was Ronald McDonald born then?
Get out of here.
I'm just kidding.
Stop
okay.
it.
So I'm talking about like a thin, like C shape.
Okay.
Okay. On the eyebrows. Come on. You don't want to tattoo that same eyebrow on, emphasize that on somebody's face.
No, you take that shape and you elevate it into like a little bit flatter shape. And people do have curved shape with the eyebrows, but they don't have like,
where
Ronald
the arch
McDonald.
is. Yeah, the arch is like in the center of the eye.
You have to look at the facial features too, because you have to look at these things because sometimes nature will they'll put the arch a little closer together because the person has really wide set eyes.
Yes.
So you have to look at that. But let's say that it could be more ideal than it is. I think that's what you're saying. Is like you don't want it to be rounded like that. How can you balance it out more? You can pull the arches away from the center of the
You're
face.
just thinking of Mr. Ronald McDonald here. I know you are.
No, my God.
Right. You want to pull the arches out
a little.
Yes.
Yeah, and you make it look like not so much of a line, and you probably need to fade it into that center line as well.
Right. So maybe you can use what they have as a sort of spine. Yeah,
you could. You could use the Ronald McDonald arch as a spine, then you can like build a shape around it to make it look nice.
Like a little bit at the top of the bulb, right?
Yeah,
to even it out there.
For sure.
And that would actually probably take care of most of it.
It would take care of most of it. Especially if you extended it from the top of the arch out, that would help a little bit.
So it's not so curving down this way.
Yeah. Have it come out instead of down. That always helps.
But you still don't want to go too far outside of this person's shape.
Well, it depends. Are they a glam queen? Are they going to tweeze it themselves?
Right. You got to talk to your client.
If they're like a wash and wear client, then they're obviously not going to do that.
True.
You have to stay closer to what, is already there.
Yeah.
So that also kind of goes with who your client is, what they're willing to do. Same thing with the tuft. If they're not willing to tweeze the tuft, then you just have to do the best you can.
You got to work with the tuft, and you got to work with the selling the hamburgers. You do. A little bit. I think that one's not as hard as it looks. Like when that walks into your door, you're like,
Yeah.
Holy moly. Like,
It's
please
not
no.
too hard. It's not, Ronald McDonald stuff isn't too hard unless it's like a really severe Ronald McDonald.
Which
but
we have seen.
we have seen. But the worst one that I saw was it was a Ronald McDonald that someone had tattooed in.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was on Shelley.
Oh.
Yeah, poor thing. So one of my favorite clients.
Oh, yeah, Shelly.
Yeah.
Her brows look so good now.
They look
Not
so
spoiler alert,
good.
sorry, but
Yeah, no, it's okay. So
Irene took good care of her.
this is when I first started too. Somebody had done her eyebrows in a real Ronald McDonald shape, and they had used a pigment that had turned red.
Yeah, it was red. I remember.
It was really red. I was like, oh my God, like, okay, let me see what I can do. So I actually camouflaged the parts that I wanted. I know, gasp. People camouflage? Go back to the 90s. No, it works. Okay, for this, it really worked. So what
it's so
happened?
taboo to say, though.
They say that camouflage is the last resort. I'll take a quick little tangent on that. Okay. So why is camouflage the last resort? Because you tried to remove it and it didn't come out. And the client doesn't want to go for laser.
Yeah.
And
or
it's
any
just
more
a
laser.
teeny tiny little spot. So if that is your situation, then yes, if you've tried everything out, use a little bit of pearl is what I did. Just a little pearl, and it matched her skin perfectly. I put it right over, and I am telling you, I have not seen that tail since.
And she's been coming back for how long now?
Like at least 10 years.
Yeah, a very long time.
Yeah, probably 15 years. It was in 2010.
So we've definitely seen some
I can show you a picture of her, and you can tell me if you can see it.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
I know.
So anyway.
No, I agree with you. I just know that some of the people listening are going to be like, don't be telling people that. But,
it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone,
and I will admit that. And I will also tell you that I do try other methods first.
Yeah.
Camouflage is my last resort.
Yes.
But I keep it in my pocket just in case.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the kind of person that's just going to tell someone, no, sorry.
Right, you're out of luck.
Yeah, I have enough experience.
Yes.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
But we were going back to
fixing that shape.
So that was my last resort. I camouflaged the Ronald McDonald sides of it. I did the new brow. It incorporated everything just right. And she's still a very happy lady, still coming to me every year.
And she's got beautiful brows. And they are not giant. I will say that sometimes I see people take a shape like that and all they do is they put like a huge shape over top of it because of course if it's giant you can cover all the angles right and just make a totally new brow. But
no, I kept them delicate for her.
Yeah, very lovely.
Yeah,
so you can still do that even with a half moon shape like that, a little crescent brow.
Sure, yeah, they are correctable.
I'll
say that. It's easier if it's a virgin brow and this is like a natural hair situation. Harder if it's a correction. So
true.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay,
that's
so
another day.
Another natural eyebrow that might walk in is like two totally different eyebrows. Like they're not twins, they're not sisters, they're not even distant cousins who have spoken in the last year. Okay, they're just like
people on the subway.
Yeah, on the other side of the planet from each other. Okay, you got one eyebrow that's like way up here, it's got a crazy like pointy arch, and then maybe the other eyebrow is like very flat.
Yeah, I've seen that. We've seen that many times, especially, when we teach classes, we have models come in from all different walks of life. And you especially see this situation on mature skin where the brows have had like 20 years to settle into the one place that they've wanted to settle into. That's life. That's not like your canvas. So knowing that, you have to also be a little bit flexible on telling yourself, okay, I might not be able to fight this muscle that keeps wanting to raise this eyebrow and has been raising this eyebrow for 20 years. So maybe we compromise as best we can.
Yes.
And let it be.
I do agree with that.
And most of your older clientele is going to also agree with you because they can see it.
And most of the older clientele also, they don't want to deal with like the maintenance. Because let's say like you make these perfect eyebrows that are very balanced on this client, but that means that like it's completely outside of their natural eyebrow hair.
And they have to tweeze off what little they used to
constantly,
have there.
Always. They're not, I would say most of our clients are not going to want to do that.
Right. Yeah.
At that age. They're just not.
No.
So you still have to work within the shape that they have somewhat. You can't just ignore it. I would say for those type of clients, what I find really good is like, everybody's got a favorite eyebrow, right? On your own face. You can work with them, pick like, okay, well, which one of these two eyebrows do you like the most? And then you can try and balance at least the shape of that eyebrow on the other side. Maybe they won't be at exactly the same level, and they're not going to match each other perfectly. They probably won't ever be twins.
But you could make them look like they at least, send a Christmas card once a year.
They could be sisters, probably. We could get them there, I think.
Sure.
But you could work with the one you like better and try and get that to work on the other eyebrow. There might be some maintenance involved, maybe if they want it to look very balanced all the time.
Maybe, yeah. Usually what I do with those is I'll take the high one and I'll sort of take the arch down. I'll lower it down. And then the other side, I will build it up more. And I'll try to tweeze underneath the arch also to make it seem like it goes up a little bit higher, because usually higher is better as you get older. So I'm hoping for the higher side. But if I have to take down the other side to flatten it a little bit, then that's okay.
Yeah.
And I can try to get them like, maybe 80% on some of my oldest. Okay. Like a 95-year-old client. That's probably the best that you can get, because those muscles have been working for so long. You can't really get them perfect unless you shave everything off and ignore everything.
Right. So realistically, with some of these clients is like, it's not going to be perfect, actually.
Which is hard for you to accept as an artist. Very hard.
It is. You're going to be staying up at night being like, man, those were just not the same.
You have to realize that sometimes in nature things aren't the same either.
True.
And that's all right. Even from one side of your face to the other, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. And we were talking about like how it has to be harmonious with everything on your face.
Right.
You can't just have perfect eyebrows.
Well,
and then
wouldn't
the
it
rest
be
of your
nice?
face is perfect too, but but it's got to work all together.
You try your best to make everything harmonize. But yes, if you have something that's like sticking out so much, like a sore thumb. I saw one lady the other day, and she has perfect permanent makeup eyebrows. I didn't do them. I saw her in a different a different place.
Always looking at people's eyebrows.
All the time. Man, I was just at I was just getting a sandwich actually earlier, and there was a lady sitting down at one of the benches, and I was like, I wonder if I could go sit near her. And I looked over and her eyebrows were so big and dark. I was like, oh, that lady looks aggressive.
Oh my God.
Isn't that terrible? I was thinking about how
pass
to
her
look.
your card.
Ooh, no, that's even worse. That's a very difficult thing to do.
That's another discussion is like what clients
How do you give
date.
your card? Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Without like, insulting
somebody. I know.
Anyway, I was thinking about how the eyebrows change the look of someone's face so much. So this lady that I saw, her eyebrows were so heavy. They're also ashy. Somebody must have used a carbon color on her. And I was thinking like, she seems unapproachable. And it was just by the heaviness.
Oh, that's sad.
Of the brows. But maybe that was just my impression of it. Maybe it's not what everybody's is. I'm just thinking maybe there's a subconscious element too.
No, I think a lot of people over time, if that has happened as their eyebrows have aged, I think that's probably a reason why a lot of people want to have them removed. Not to jump into another topic, but but because they feel like it looks harsh over time,
or it's not harmonizing with the rest of their face. And I wanted to bring this up, going back to what we were talking about. Was I saw like a little while ago that somebody said Ringo Starr is the best drummer of all time, and I was like, okay, fine. Why isn't it like the guy from Slayer? The people who are doing all this crazy stuff. So I watched the video, and the drummer was like, okay, so I'm going to play the Beatles for you. I'm going to play I Want to Hold Your Hand. And he started drumming like the guy from Slayer, just all crazy, like so much skill. Bang, 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 bang. And then you couldn't hear the rest of the song. So then he said, okay, now I'm going to play Ringo's part the way he plays it. And he changed back, and the individual part was still very talented, very, very good. But suddenly it worked with the rest of the song, and it changed the song from being like, oh, this song's all about the drummer, to this song is about the whole picture.
Yes.
And I thought that is an amazing thing for anyone who's working as an artist.
Yes.
It must harmonize with your client.
Yeah.
If your eyebrows, even if they're perfect, if they overshadow and overbear your client, you've lost.
Yes, I agree completely. You got to try and have it fit just right in there. That's part of the skill, is to like find a way to make it work, but not completely, like you said, overpower the whole thing.
It has to work with you.
Yes.
With you, not over you.
So I think that like all these cases, what we're saying is like, I know a lot of people might shy away. Like you might see these eyebrows walk in and you're just totally shocked and you're like, I could not possibly make those look good, you know? And I think I want to encourage everybody to maybe like give it a shot. At the very least,
you could draw it.
Just draw it.
You could draw it.
Just have a consultation and see what you can do just by drawing it on. Because these experiences, these eyebrows that are maybe a little crazy are really going to like make you like from a good artist to like an amazing artist. If you can tackle these and you can see, you can visualize how you could fix those eyebrows and make them more balanced without overpowering though.
And it's not just about picking the right color and picking the shape, right? I know that that's something that Alexis has always told us all the time. The most important thing is pick the right color,
put it in the right place.
Yep. It is. But now that there are, you know, some more things available that can give us more 3D looks, now we also have to think in texture.
Yeah.
Not just like, you know, I can put something soft and that's it, which that's still the perfect thing to do for someone who just has like a little bit of sparse.
Which we see all the time. Yeah, that's what you see online. Everybody posts pictures of people who have like, you know,
perfect. Yeah.
Nice eyebrows already, but like thin maybe.
Sure.
You got to redefine them, add a little powder, add a little hair strokes and like boom, va va boom. They're like perfection now. But we see a lot of clients that don't have that.
Yeah, it takes some real, you know, you got to work at it a little bit. It's good. I'm thinking of another client that I had that she has like the tuft, the same thing, but it's copper. And I thought of something that I did for her that might be helpful for other people. So what I did was I did some shading, a tiny bit, with the iconic.
The tuft?
No, not just leading in, leading into the tuft. And then I did hair strokes in 3 different colors for her because she had like copper hairs in her brows, but she also had like the shadowing.
Oh, that's
so it seemed like darker to me. So I did some with like earth. I did some with copper. I did some with cocoa, and using a few different colors for the hair strokes gave me some of that like density that I needed for the tuft.
And like 3D-ness, because a hair itself, like a single hair with the light shining on it, you have an area that has like a highlight.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've done that before too. You could take a little bit of our Rise and Shine pigment that we use for the areola, and you could just take a little bit on your 17 and just tap on one tippy top of a hair and you can get a little shine on it.
I saw a very, you know, well-known artist. She used to do that all the time. I haven't heard much about her lately, but she was really big during, you know, the microblading crazy times. But she did do a lot of highlight.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do in the art world anyway. If you ever like try to paint an apple
to
or
make
something,
it 3D,
you put a little, you need some shine. So anyway.
Yeah, that's super cool. Well, I think that's a good thing to do you need to do some 3D effects if you're dealing with some like difficult eyebrows, right? And the density really and the texture.
Yeah. Do you want it light and soft background? Do you want light and soft hair strokes?
Yeah.
Do you want dark and solid hair strokes?
Yeah, you have to talk to your client and you have to work with them and you have to manage their expectations so that way they don't think that they're going to come out of this with like Kim Kardashian eyebrows, or they're not going to come out of it with, you know, barely like hair strokes surrounding their tuft, because that's not going to look good.
Right.
We've seen it. I have seen people who have hair strokes around a tuft. I know. It's not good.
I think that when you look at these kinds of situations, sometimes you panic and you're like, oh my God, where is the path?
Yeah.
How do I put one foot in front of the other? And you're not supposed to see a path. You're supposed to see your creativity and what you can do. So when you see some tough situations like this, tough situations.
Oh my God.
Think outside the box.
Stop listening to us.
Oh no. Think outside the box. What can you do to blend it? What can you do? It's okay to think of a solution.
Yes, be
creative.
I love that.
This is all art in the end. Yeah. So
you don't
it's
have
all
to
good.
do it the way. way. There's more than the way.
Right. So some people might say, oh, this is the way. You have to use only
a lot of people say that.
XYZ and
They
only
do.
machine.
They do.
It's not the only way.
It's not.
So believe in yourself. You can do it.
I agree.
Okay.
And try a little bit. Push yourself out of your comfort zone maybe a little bit to do design work that maybe is right for your client, but isn't what
maybe you're not as comfortable with, but maybe it's what the client wants.
Maybe it's outside of your typical mapped eyebrow.
That's okay.
Oh my goodness.
That's exciting. No, it's exciting. It is. I think it's great.
I think so too. So I encourage everybody to put a little more creativity into these eyebrows, but especially if you see something tough walking in your door, like maybe try and take it on.
Yeah.
Tuft. A little tough walking your door.
Yeah. You're going to have to be tuft too.
That's right.
Okay.
You can learn something from every single case, I think.
Oh, yeah. We learn something every single day.
Yeah. Which kind of leads me into what we would want to probably talk in maybe a future podcast is, sometimes maybe some of these clients are clients that you want to turn away. And like, when do you turn them away?
That's true.
I know. It's a whole nother tangent.
Fire. That's another thing.
Gosh.
Or do we fire clients? We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. If you guys have any crazy eyebrows that you've had walk in your own door that you've taken on, we'd love to hear how you tackled them.
Send us a picture. We'll mark it up
we
for
would
you.
Love
but
that.
make sure you have your client's consent. If you do that, you need a signed consent form and send it to us, and just a close-up, please. If that's going to be, I would love it. I'd love to see it.
And if you disagree, because I'm sure there's people out there that are saying, no, you should just not even work on somebody unless you can balance their eyebrows perfectly. I'd love to hear about that too. Like if you had a case where you're like, I know, we would shoot you down. I'm sorry.
No.
We would shoot you down, but I would still love to see that side of it, to say like, I had this client and it was impossible. I think we love a challenge. So maybe we're a little bit unique there, but I want to understand a little bit more too about when you reject somebody.
I don't see many situations where you would, but
I see people reject people. I know. We'll talk about it on another one. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But if you have any examples of these crazy eyebrows and you want to see what we think about them, or you weren't really sure how to deal with them, we would definitely love to help
us.
you.
Yeah. We'll do a little map me.
Yeah.
Right?
We'd love to hear these other stories too, if you have something that happened a long time ago.
Oh, we love stories.
We do. Well, that's all I think we have for now for designing these difficult eyebrows.
I think so. Yeah, you can have designs that are difficult naturally, or of course, that's another topic for another day.
Corrections.
Yeah. That's very difficult. I'm working on one right now that would probably make you clutch your pearls. So hopefully I can help her.
Yeah. And if you think, you guys don't even know, clutch your pearls, the kind of stuff that we work on, I'm pretty sure everybody that you see online would turn away a million times.
Oh, no. We try to help.
We try
to help. But it's also important to know your limitations.
Yes.
And if there's a better solution than the work of our hands, then we try to send it to someone that can actually help.
Yeah.
The truth is, you have to do what is best for your client. That's why we're talking about not strong-arming the client into plucking their tufts, but asking them if that's a maintenance that they would be interested in doing for a better look.
Definitely.
And if the answer is yes, okay, we'll go that direction. If the answer is no, we'll go in the other direction.
Yeah.
Easy.
It is easy. Thanks, you guys, for listening.
Thank you always.
And until next time, happy tapping.
The information, views, and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views, policies, or official positions of SofTap Inc. This content is not substitute for proper training, licensing, or official medical advice. Always follow your own local regulations, licensing requirements, and professional judgment. SofTap Inc. is not responsible for any decisions, actions, or outcomes based on information discussed in this podcast. Thank you for listening.